Welcome back to The Update. I'm your host, Ashton Gerbaz, bringing you more fake news, upcoming events in Grand Junction, and a look into a few organizations here on campus. There's a lot going on around campus and Junction before the semester ends. The Point is hosting a beer tasting on April 27th from 2 to 5 p.m. Tickets are $10 ahead of time, $15 at the door, but buy your tickets soon. Only 100 will be sold. The tickets are being sold at a table on the quad as well as at the Point. For more information, you can contact Georgianne Juflas at gjuflas@coloradomesa.edu. The famous Thunderstruck Valley Bar on Main Street is mixing things up a little. The bar has new owners and now a new name, the Twisted Turtle. The new owners are looking to rebrand the place with a new name and a new atmosphere. The name will officially change once the city approves a new sign. The Colorado Mesa Language Department is expanding and adding a new language to the curriculum. Russian will now be available starting fall of 2017. Covered in the course will be conversational Russian, an introduction to Russian culture, reading, writing, and basic grammar. Professor Oksana Allen will be leading the 3-credit course, which goes from 1 to 1:50 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in Houston Hall. If you have space during that time and have always wanted to learn a new and fun language, be sure to sign up. The CRN is 26730, and the course name is FLAV290S. The outdoor program Gamma Phi Beta and the Sustainability Council put together this spring's annual Camping on the Quad night. The night was filled with fun activities, tacos, a bonfire, s'mores, and of course, camping. Let's go now and hear a little bit about the event and ways you can become more involved with the outdoor program from Michelle De La Castro and learn about Greek Week and Girls on the Run from Gamma Phi Beta's Charlie Gonzalez.
The purpose of Camping on the Quad is pretty simple. As the outdoor program, we really encourage kids to just get yourself out there. We really try to get other organizations involved as well. So we've got the sorority out here this year. Before we've had snow sleigh. We set up an obstacle course every year, and then of course we have good foods. We really just try to encourage people to come on trips first, and we have these day trips. So we have the 3-day trips on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which really help to encourage people to come out with us even just for a couple hours, and then we can start talking to them about more trips, kind of see who we're about. We've got the whole calendar up on the board and as well as in the trip book, so you guys can just look through what we have going out in the next couple weeks.
Gamma Phi Beta decided to get involved this year because it's our first year on campus, and we really try to motivate our girls to get outside and spend time with more people and just kind of inform the community of what we do. I wanted to join Gamma Phi Beta because I love the message that they're about. Like I said before, it's all about building strong girls and also to get out there and to meet new people, and that's what it's all about. And it's like the best part about it is that there's 80 other girls and we all get to know one another, whether some of us are art majors, some of us are nursing majors. You know, we all come from different walks of life and we all have the same bond in common, which is our sisterhood. We have a couple events coming up within the next couple of weeks. We have Greek Week, and that's when we get involved with the other fraternities and sorority. There's Alpha Sigma Alpha, and we basically have events all throughout campus to kind of inform people about all Greek, not just Gamma Phi Beta, but other sororities, other fraternities. Our biggest event is called Girls on the Run, and basically what this event is it inspires younger girls from elementary school to middle school to be athletic and be confident in themselves. And so what we do is we hold a 5K race for them, and we are basically running the whole race. Like, we are there to hand them water, to run them through the race, and just kind of inspire them. We really try to stay as involved as we can, but those are the biggest events coming up.
My fake news segments are about to get a lot harder to write now that Google has introduced a new fact-checking tool. FactCheck was designed to combat the spread of fake news across the internet. The tool is said to be born from the excessive spread of fake news during the 2016 presidential election. A Google user can enable the tool, which will flag any articles that are being fact-checked. It will also provide links to fact-checking websites that users can go to, such as Politico and Snopes. The new tool is still not foolproof with many improvements to be made, but it is a start in ending the spread of fake news across the internet. Thanks for tuning in to The Update. Tune in next week for the last segment of the semester. Let's go now to the most recent press conference with recently re-elected ASU President Ben Lindsay. Have a great week, Mavericks. This is your host, Ashton Gerbaz, signing off.
Good afternoon, Mavericks. My name is Ben Lindsay and I'm your student body president. It is Friday, April 21st, and we are here with our weekly press conference. Definitely utilizing the option of Casual Friday. So if you're joining us today, welcome. I'm going to go through our agenda for the past week, as well as some other updates, and then open the floor for some questions. So this week we had a pretty short meeting. Several discussions arose. Our first discussion was on old business, so we brought to the floor 1644 and 1645. These were regarding the executive positions as well as the Senate leader position, changing the bylaws to reflect our new budget, as well as the roles that they will have. There aren't many roles in regards to what duties they will have, but we did change the office hours and pay structure of several of the positions to reflect our $16,000 cut to our own budget. So all the Director of External and Director of Communications combined positions, as well as Director of Finance and the FAC Chair, so they are now one position each. And then we also reduced the hours of office hours for all of those positions and pay for trustee, student leader, or Senate leader, and those positions as well as Chief of Staff. Whereas the Vice President and President positions were increased in office hours by 5 hours each, so now the President is required to have 20 hours a week, whereas the Vice President is required to have 15. And they did not receive any increase in pay or anything like that to even it out. So that was our first two bills from old business. In new business, we saw another bylaw change, 1643, where it's requiring senators to have town hall meetings each semester with their constituents. The discussion is based around who their constituents are. So they'd be from their major. In recent talks, we've talked about assigning clubs to each senator so they could include town halls with those clubs as well, so allowing for more connection and collaboration within those groups and being that for the figure in front that answers questions and being knowledgeable in the student life arena. We also saw a resolution that was written by Vice President Carmen. I added a paragraph or two to it and decided that it wasn't going to be an executive order but a joint resolution between the legislative and executive branch. So I'll read that resolution now. ASG Joint Resolution 1603 concerning utilization of other student groups before outside entities. Resolved, whereas Colorado Mesa University students will collectively pay $1,210,000 for each fiscal year for 2017 and 2018, and whereas it has been the goal of both the Associated Student Government and the Fee Allocation Committee to reduce redundant and inefficient expenditures, and whereas the ASG believes that fee-funded organizations should strive for fiscal responsibility when planning events for the student body. Be it resolved by the Associated Student Government of Colorado Mesa University that student organizations and clubs utilize our student leaders when possible and available in order to offer for them the best opportunities for growth in both leadership, professional development, and collaboration between all of our student organizations and clubs. Therefore, for the purpose of on and off campus events, when fee-funded organizations can offer a service, that organization must be given the opportunity to provide said service before event planners contract with outside vendors. Aforementioned services can include, but are not limited to, music, DJing, graphic design, announcing, television coverage, etc. The organizations who provide these services are under no obligation to provide them, but they must be given the opportunity before a CMU-affiliated event planner may contract with outside vendors. So essentially what this joint resolution is stating is that if another student organization can offer a service, so CDS can offer graphic design, CMU-TV can offer television services, the KMSA can offer DJing services, that those organizations must reach out to those groups before they contract with any outside organization. Not only is this allowing us to be more fiscally responsible with our expenditures, but it also allows us to better collaborate as students on our campus. This resolution received unanimous support, almost unanimous support from all of our senators and as well as all the executives in our organization. So I signed that today, and that will go into effect starting this upcoming semester. We also discussed our recent results from the election. So I'll go over the election results now with the numbers, and then we're going to focus on the smoking results at the end because we've had some updates on that as well. So we received 774 total votes this past election, which was slightly under the past election's total number. The Lindsey Guile campaign won the presidential and vice presidential seat with 72% of the vote, or 558 votes. The Hanley Beerbaum campaign received 28% of the vote and received 216 votes. For the office of student trustee, Beau Flores won as an unopposed candidate with 655 votes. For the office of Campus Resident Senator, Jeff Vello won the position as an unopposed seat with 658 votes. For the office of Computer Science and Mathematics, Kyle Wharton won with 629 votes as an unopposed seat. For Office of Health Sciences, Lexi Biller, Samantha Gash, Catherine Darst, and Christina Barefoot all won their positions. There was 4 senator seats for that, and so they all received around 300 to 500 votes for those positions. For the Office of Language, Literature, and Mass Communications Senator, this was one of our seats that was contested. Richard Wynn and Bryce Reedy both won their seats with equal vote count of 349, whereas Roxanne Truder only received 326 votes. So Mr. Wynn and Reedy will be taking those positions in the fall. For the Office of Minority Senator, Shelby Cerisi won that position as an unopposed seat with 651 votes. For the Office of Social and Behavioral Sciences, this was another seat that was contested. Cheyenne Pace, Erica Pacheco, and Cody Armstrong won those seats, anywhere from 500 to 300 votes, and Adriana Dominguez did not win one of those seats. For the Office of Disabled Student Senator, Elise Leonard won unopposed with 652 votes. For the Office of At-Large Senator, Jay Shiro won with 668 votes, unopposed as well. For the Office of Fine and Performing Arts, Brooklyn Burr and Jordan Chavez both won those seats. Again, both of those were unopposed. For the Office of Graduate Senator, Maddie Hoffman, a returning senator, won with 671 votes. For the Office of Physical, Environmental, and Biological Sciences, Michaela Wilcox and Alfonso Detrell both won those positions, both of them unopposed. For the Office of Montrose Campus Senator, Andrew Lucero retained his seat with 664 votes. And for our last seat, the Office of Professional Studies Senator, Kevin Cajuena, Jarrett Brown, and John Nakshim all won that seat as they were all unopposed. And pardon me, there was one more that I forgot to mention, but the Office of WCCC was won by Jake Wellborn, our current FAC director, with 654 votes. 2 other items that were on the ballot this past election was the proposed constitutional amendment that we've been working on in ASG for the past year or so. That passed with a yes, with 605 votes, or 85% of the vote. So that will be enacted on May 2nd this coming year, and we'll utilize that as all of the verbiage in there and utilize that as our governing documents. And lastly, the other item on the ballot was, in your opinion, on our campus smoking policy regarding tobacco, vaping, and e-cigs, what should it be? And so a pretty resounding answer here from the student body, but 39% of the vote went towards a designated smoking area campus, so that we have designated smoking areas across campus. 30% voted for a smoke-free campus, and the current policy, which is 40 feet away, received 29% of the vote. So Senator Vella, who has been working on this as well as myself about gathering information as what the students want on this tobacco policy, have came to a conclusion, and we're working with Faculty Senate as well as hopefully meeting with Kent Marsh and John Marshall, the Director of Facilities, as well as Student Services next week. But earlier in the year, we did a survey with students that received 62% responses, where a large amount of those responses were in favor of a designated smoking area. And with this past election, with 784 votes going towards the smoking policy, over 70% of the vote was asking for a stricter smoking policy, and 39%, which was the highest in receiving votes, was for designated smoking areas. So therefore, we believe that it is in the best interest of the students, based off of their responses, that we seek out in campus that has designated smoking areas, so changing the current policy from 40 feet to designated smoking areas across campus. We approached the Faculty Senate with this idea yesterday at their meeting, and they were very open to this idea. They believed that that was a similar distinction in what professors wanted to see on campus as well. So they agreed and were willing to work with us in the future. And so we hope to have this implemented within the next year or so. It is going to be a lengthy process, working with facilities and student services to decide where these positions are going to be, as well as what they will look like. And we'll keep you guys updated as we go throughout that. But also, following this policy that we want to change, we want to provide better education services for students that do wish to quit smoking. So potentially working with the local Hilltop organization and working with them to offer smoking cessation classes to students, as well as working with potentially nursing students where they can do some research on the effects of secondhand smoke and things along those lines. So we intend to work on this over the next couple of weeks, but with only several weeks left in the semester, it'll most likely move on to the following semester. Last but not least, there's some updates from the trustees on the incoming PA, PT, and OT programs. Initially, we were going to utilize these programs with, or partner with local CU for these programs so that we'd have a partnership similar to the partnership we have with our engineering programs with our PA program. However, due to negotiations, we decided that that's not the best interest of CMU anymore, and we're actually granted an earlier accreditation time period for the students. So we actually are planning on having the PA program open up as an accredited program in the spring of 2019, and then the following year and a half after that, we'll implement the PT and then the OT program. And so we're very excited for those to continue to grow, and those will be master's and doctorate level programs, so we'll continue adding to the graduate programs we offer here at CMU. There will be a different tuition rate for those programs, different from undergrad. They believe it'll be around $600 a credit or so, but all these numbers are fluidly changing and aren't set in stone at this point in time. Before I open it up for questions, I do want to offer, we are putting together our cabinet for this coming year, so if you're interested in being FAC Chair, Director of External Affairs, Chief of Staff, or any other positions within our organization, please send me an email and I'll be happy to connect you and get you on our list of people that we want to interview for those positions. So with that being said, I believe that's all I have. Are there any questions for us today? Mr. Andrew?
So about the office hours, what was the reasoning behind increasing the office hours? And also, why did you combine those seats together?
Absolutely. So beforehand, more than 50% of our budget was being utilized for stipend pay, and so we were looking for ways to cut our budget because it was a tighter year when it came to finances, or tighter budgeting process than past years. So that's the first place we looked, and so we did some interior just reflecting and looking at those positions, and the changes in office hours reflect minimum wage. When we were talking about it in the past, and now minimum wage has gone up, but they're all reflecting about an $8.30 minimum wage price. So by increasing the presidential and vice presidential office hours, they are now getting paid around $8.30 a week, or $8.30 an hour to be in their office, whereas the other positions, we cut down the office hours because we determined that more than half the office hours that they're in the office aren't necessary. We confirmed that with those positions, and so they all agreed that Senate Leader, Executive, or External Affairs, Communications, they all agreed that they are on the office too much for what's necessary for the position. So we look to combine those two and make sure that the office hours reflected the minimum wage at the time when we were looking at it in the past budgeting process. So we're excited. We've been doing that ever since I stepped in this position. We've adopted that format for executive branch, and so far it's gone really well. We haven't had too many struggles, and we'll continue to work out the kinks this upcoming year. Absolutely. Any other questions for me? Alrighty. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and thank you again to CMU-TV for offering their beautiful space and their lovely employees. Have a great weekend, Mavs, and thank you all for being Mavericks.